budget was there, I would absolutely positively have an employee whose job is to transportation, like to drive my car.
Really
Budget's
not
there.
Budget's
not there.
Not even close to there. So fucking get better at being zen behind the wheel.
I'm just saying.
You need more moments like that today. I really want to sit over there.
Where?
Over there.
Over there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What?
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
Because it would be cool to get like another painting in the background, you know?
Yeah.
Different angle, switch it up, you know, loosen up the room a little bit, make it a little bit more feng shui.
Want to be like more like this?
Yeah.
Like all sides?
Open it up.
All sides?
Yeah, I haven't really decided which side is my best side yet.
I mean, it's kind of the time that you're into like moving things around.
Oh, there's big changes coming.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, I'm expecting it.
I think it's called spring cleaning.
Spring rearranging?
Spring, just fucking blow everything up, start over again.
Is that what you do every spring?
Spring, fall.
You could do it in the fall, but you don't want to clean it up.
Yeah.
Kind of just want to blow it up and leave it alone.
A little bit more pallet wood.
How about like a failed suicide attempt? Could we film that?
God, man, suicide's so good.
But I'm already saying failed.
Like all like that type of shit. Like even like you guys have me watch that show, and that show is good. But I just don't like stuff like that.
You don't like drama.
That show was deep as it comes.
I haven't gotten to the end of it.
We're gonna ruin it for you, so it don't matter.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You don't need to. We'll explain it.
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
Did you get to 4?
Where am I at? I'm at the episode that I just finished was the one where the kid told his parents he's gonna plead guilty.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
it,
last one.
kid. It's the last one.
That's the last one.
That's the last one.
It's over after that?
Yeah. Weird, right?
So did I even finish the episode?
I think you did.
If he finished it,
Especially if he said that, I think you did.
It's
He said,
close
"Dad-
to the end. That's
Dad-
when he's sitting in the car.
Dad,
That's very close.
I'm
to
gonna
the end.
I'm gonna change my plea.
He doesn't know that the mom is in the car.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
So that's over.
That's
It's
it.
a little bit more. They go home and then they decide
They
not
have
to
a
go.
conversation.
Yeah. A deep one.
So I might not have gotten to that conversation yet.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
No.
All right. So then tell me what happened.
Well, I mean,
Nothing.
start at A1.
Well,
The
point
third episode is probably one of the best pieces of TV I've seen in 10 years.
where he yells at the psychiatrist in the office.
The
Interesting that you say
acting
that.
on both of those was absolutely insane. And the kid, that is the first episode they shot. It's the first time he's ever acted.
Is it really?
Ever.
Interesting. And that was the first episode they shot of that series?
Of the show, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Probably to see if it would work.
That was the best fucking episode of TV I've seen in a long time.
Well, I got one complaint with that episode.
Go ahead.
The single shot did not work in that episode.
You don't think so?
No.
I thought he was completely controlling where he wanted you to see, what he wanted you to look at. He wasn't
he
giving you
was.
the room to choose. Sometimes when she was talking, you were looking at him,
At him, yes.
which I thought was just a beautiful piece of fucking filmmaking.
The only thing that made it hurt was that the first two were so fast moving
Yeah, but-
that slow. But I'm saying it
That all
slowed
was
it
one
down to the
take?
point that I think it was a little
One
too
camera.
slow.
Yeah.
Was there editing? All one take?
There's some people are saying no. Some people are saying yes. You can, because I really looked into it.
stitch
There's
it?
only a certain amount of movies that have really done a one shot movie. There, a lot of it is saying
That's
yes
like the equivalent of 4
on that show.
one-shot movies.
But when you when you go through doorways and stuff like that, is a part where you can make a cut.
Okay.
There's certain parts where you can make a cut for those type of shows, but it's fucking seamless.
So they don't
dude.
tell you whether or not the kid did it? Or he did do it? Because he said...
No, he just admits it. So that's after the third episode where you see him fucking crack. He's pretty much just admitting to it because
when you see him crack in the... Well, yeah, that was what I didn't see. First of all, I had no idea it was only 4 episodes.
Okay,
I had no idea the one I was watching or the one I
I think it's actually better like that.
I
you
didn't
know
I
that.
didn't know that, like... And so when he's freaking out with the psychiatrist, I'm saying to myself, well, this kid's fucking freaking out. How is it even possible they didn't do it? They have him on film.
Right.
He's acting like this. There's no way he did not do it. Like, what's the fucking angle here to where he didn't do it?
I don't think that there ever was an angle that he didn't do it, and that
And then
scene
when the
in
kid
and of
in the-
itself.
I do.
I don't think so. I think they only wanted you to believe that in the first episode, and then they let it linger into the second episode a little bit with the friends.
Right.
But I mean, just like, if you got kids and you didn't fucking like think I got to get my kids out of this world after watching that show, Jesus Christ.
I think when he snaps personally is the first time you say, all right, this show has changed. It is.
Yeah.
It is now. He did it. There is no. They shouldn't sell it under a mystery because it's
No.
not a mystery.
But I think
you know
they did
what
on
mean?
purpose
Okay.
because it was really just like a societal comment the whole entire time.
Yes.
About the computers, about the phone, about
Computers.
bullying,
Yeah.
about male-female relationships.
Yep.
That's why I thought that third episode was amazing. When he was like, I only killed her. I didn't do these other things.
Right. Right.
Like, he doesn't even understand what it means, what he did.
He said that?
And that.
Yeah, she was saying like, and then the part where he was like, you know, oh, you've been on a date with a girl, like, how'd you treat, like, not like friends or anything like that, like, you know, I did this, I hooked up with her or whatever, like that. And then when he asked about the dad, like, does your dad have female friends? And he's like, no, he's married to my mom.
Right.
Like, wildly
Yeah.
deep fucking social fucking things throughout the whole entire show.
And that whole
blown
thing,
away.
that
by
whole
it.
thing was pressing
funny that
of
you
like,
brought that
does
up.
he understand and does he not understand? That whole episode was just
Yeah.
pressing that idea.
Yes.
Is that what I mean? We should start with the first one. First episode,
And then the dynamic between the therapist and him, like, he's like flirting with her a little bit.
Yep.
The fucking security guard's flirting with her a little bit. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like wild undertones of society.
first episode, killer introduction, right? The way the camera moved, the way you got into the story, the emotion of the fucking dad is amazing.
That guy's a great
Stephen
actor.
Graham.
He's been around for a long, he's
Amazing.
been
He
around
wrote
for a
it.
long time. He wrote it?
Yeah, he was co-writer. Yep. I thought it was an amazing introduction, and then when the second episode starts with 3 days or
Yeah.
2 days or something like that,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you know what I mean? And then that whole thing was wild, just getting into what kids are and how that school was like.
School
fucking
failed him.
Pink Floyd.
You got like
that was a
two
disaster.
sides of the educational spectrum. You got one guy who shows up 20 minutes late for the class.
Oh my
You got
God.
the other guy who's like a drill sergeant screaming at the kid to
Yep.
put him down.
Everybody's watching videos.
Yeah.
Nobody's really like teaching.
Chaos.
Chaos.
And then like the comment that the one inspector makes where she says, you know, like, well, the couple things, the male-female dynamic when he says, do you want kids? He's like, you never asked me that before.
Right.
Like, why are you asking me that right now?
Yeah.
And then she says, this sucks because like they're only going to remember this kid. They're not going to remember the girl that got killed.
That's a huge part of
But
the
then
show.
when she says like, he's asking her like, how'd you get by? She's like, it was one teacher. It's all it took. You know, they took a interest in me and I was set for the rest of my life.
Right.
But they're showing the breakdown of the current education system.
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
The way it was filmed was
I'm interested in all
so
that.
cool.
I love.
You should
it.
rewatch
There's
it because,
nothing more interesting to me than what you're talking about. But I don't see it as like it's a black and white good or bad. I just feel
No,
like
I don't think it's a black and white good or bad.
No,
I
I-
think it's just that's how that one little fucking town was.
Yeah, they showed every human emotion. The parents, like in the last one, when they were like, you know, he was playing soccer but he didn't really like it. Then he did this but he didn't really like that.
Right.
But then she starts talking about how he became good at the computer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck does that mean? You know, like I would go past his room at 2:00, the light was on, it found like he finally found something.
Yeah.
You know, it's obviously the thing that broke him, you know?
Yep.
yeah.
Wild.
We thought he was okay.
Yeah.
Dude, the emotion set in that. I mean, all right. So as soon as it's over, I'm disappointed, right?
Like, there was
Because
no twist.
I was thinking
not that there was no
There was
twist.
going to be a twist, like with the whole incel thing, like when they're in like the Home Depot place, and the guy's like, you know, there's a
I
bunch of
believe
us.
you. I believe you, son.
Yeah, but when he said there's a bunch of us that would contribute
Right.
to the lawyer,
Yeah.
in my mind, the whole time I'm waiting for it to be the kid didn't do it, and there's this broader community
Right.
that like is like red pill, like, and the kid was kind of, you know, involved in something like that, and like he was set up or something. Like I was waiting for that to happen. Like there was going to be like this broader, you know, realm of like people that are into that that world. I had
Yeah,
no.
because the second episode left a lot of open because you didn't get any closure with any of those kids. You know, that black girl punched the other kid
Yeah.
randomly, being like, "You're a killer." You know what I mean? So you
I
kind
think
of
they did that shit to throw you off the scent.
Yeah,
I guess.
you're feeding into that, being like, "Oh, maybe her best friend maybe knows a little bit of something," but it also should have been stopped with the video that was shown.
Yeah.
You know, like in the very
my
beginning.
God. That scene was fucking destroying.
Dude, even him just saying, you gotta answer me one question.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
And then
he's
the
like,
video.
no.
And then they show the video like seconds later.
Seconds later. Like, oh my God.
But even that, like they show the video, it's obviously like, oh, this kid's pretty fucked up to do that.
Right.
But he looks also remorseful.
Yeah.
What happened? You know, like what happened that the girl actually died? Was it the friends? But like I just felt it some way through. Like there's no twist in this fucking thing.
Yeah.
They're just commenting on this.
Once he went nuts on the lady a couple times.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no twist on this. I was thinking maybe the first blow up was like, all right, he's losing his mind in jail. You know what I mean? Like
I was convinced there was a twist from the beginning, so that when he went crazy, I'm like, how are they going to spin this? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I also had
like,
no idea that it was just it was only 4 episodes. Didn't know that part. But I think the interesting thing is the social commentary.
The whole time. I mean,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Andrew Tate comment.
That's what it mainly was. That's what it mainly was about. Which people in Britain actually, after reading some comments, are furious about. Just like people get furious about like Trump here.
But I think
You know what
what's
I mean?
so interesting about what's happening in our world is like the world that we grew up in, right? Like the world of our parents, like has kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
But we're still in it. Like, and it's like we need a new operating system, but nobody can agree upon like what that is.
I think we're still in it only because us know how it was without what's going on now.
But we know in the past and we have reference points.
Yeah.
But it's so much of it is no longer applicable. Like even when you talk about the thing with the kids, and it's like when you say the internet and the computer and like you go through this, I go through this, and then you've said something, you know, from a different perspective. But it's like our entire fucking world operates on the computers.
Yeah.
How could we possibly say we're not going to let them be in the computer world?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Like the kid didn't know what it meant to exist in the real world anymore. Like that's what they're saying. They're saying that he killed this girl. He didn't believe that males and females could have friendly relationships. He was only being driven by some sort of a kinky sexual relationship with a girl at 13. And that like his dad couldn't have a girlfriend, couldn't have friends that were girls. And like, that's all that was. And then, like I said before, they were like, he's like, well, I only killed her. I could have done more.
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't do any of these other weird things. I only killed her. He doesn't even know what it means, what he did.
Right.
You know?
I didn't catch that part. I was probably on my phone.
It was, man. What'd you say?
I was probably on my phone.
You're supposed to put it away when you're watching something.
Not working very well.
Bullying aspect of it, you know, like.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get down to like, what's the outlook? Like, what's the fucking outlook?
Well, they're not giving you any answers.
No, I'm not saying I'm saying for us.
That thing got you at the end, which could kind of relate to us, but you missed this part when the mom and the dad are on the bed. They're on his bed.
No, I saw that part.
Oh, then that's the end.
That's
It's
the end.
over.
Yeah.
And they're just
so I
talking
saw the
about,
whole thing.
we thought we
Where did
did
we go
okay.
wrong? Yeah.
Like we thought we were okay.
Yeah, but I guess
they know
what
that
I'm
they
trying
messed
to
up.
say is like even like in our parents' generation, like the baby boomers, like when you're looking at history and you look at the amount of cultural changes that have taken place from World War II on, you really got to look at it like that. Like from World War II.
Yeah, but what did they have to
country.
watch out for us? They had to watch out in our own community, us taking drugs.
No, but I'm going deeper than that. I'm going
but
deeper in terms
what
of
I'm trying
like
to say is that everybody has access to everyone right now.
yeah.
Right? So that's a much broader open window that everybody
But
has
the
access
needs and
to.
desires of human beings are the same as what they have always been.
Not if they're being
don't think
changed
so.
by what they see.
I don't think so
No,
at all.
I think we're not. We've been so heavily programmed as a society for 100 years. Heavily programmed. Propaganda, culture. And when I say programming, I don't necessarily mean like just evil empire shit, like, like bad, but in terms of like what the nuclear family is supposed to look like, and what the meaning of work is, and like what you should be striving for and achieving, and what a good life means, and all that kind of stuff, and America being the greatest country in the world, and all of these things. And now all of a sudden the internet shows up, and you start seeing so many other things.
Yeah.
The way things work in other countries, the way other people live, culture, and it's like we've never had that as a species. Like we've never had that. Like we're not, and the speed and I don't think we're any different. I just think like we need to come up with some new rules, with some new agreements on, and it's really fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do.
Restrictions.
But it's not even necessarily restrictions. I mean, I think that's like the overly simple way to look at it. Like you can and you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this. I think it's deeper than that. It's like, you look at like the nuclear family and marriage, right? It's not just from the internet. I mean, overall, if you look at it as a whole, like it's pretty much failed experiment. You know what I mean? Like the amount of marriages that fail is more than half or almost half. So when you look at it as like just like the thing itself, and that's just one example. I'm not singling that out. I'm just thinking like maybe 100 years ago when things were set up, the way that it worked for that time period. I think things have outpaced themselves so much that the only choice is to kind of make some radical fucking changes and make some new deals, or kind of perish. Because if we're trying to...
I think it's very, very deep, and I don't think we could even come up to a thought of an answer.
But we have to.
But the way that...
As a human society.
But I think it's just begun to do this change.
Yeah.
Like, 50% of marriages fail. It wasn't like that back in the day. Yes, I know people stayed together that shouldn't have stayed together, but as the options grew, or the thought of options grew, hence, you're going to do worse at a marriage, right? So now you're seeing all this new stuff. I mean, kids go on the internet now. I'll tell you right now, you ask fucking 10 kids, 5 kids want to be YouTube stars.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
not a job.
I think most of them.
That's not, right. That's
Yeah, but
not a
how
job.
is that any different than wanting to be an NFL player or a movie star? It's not different at all.
I think it's different.
It's not different at all.
Sure it is.
I would argue that it's
Seems more attainable.
I would argue that it's better because you can actually get in and start doing it and learn about something.
Yeah, but you're in a
well,
fake. But the whole point is that you're in a fake world.
I think the only
You're not
reason
in a fake
why
world
it's
if you're a movie
different.
star?
I think the only reason why it's different is
changed it to
because
movie star.
it seems more attainable now,
But it's not.
and also parents don't know how to say that it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so many versions of it that have happened with no idea of what the scale of what
Well, the parents haven't even caught up to
Let
what
me
the
finish.
shit.
But like sports people and like everybody knew, like, the small and it's the same thing in terms of
Same
that.
thing, yeah.
The small percentage of people that actually make that.
Right.
But parents don't understand it. I still think they don't understand.
And there's still parents who think this kid is going to be an all-star when they're not. You know what I mean? They still have that drive of that dream.
I think the biggest problem with that thing was, and what I think is and it's what Scott Galloway talks about all the time, is just
Lonely
straight
young
up
men.
young men.
Yeah.
It's going to be the downfall of this country eventually.
Why is that?
Like, because, the whole statistic of like 80% of the female are only choosing from, there's only like 20% of the men
God.
that they
Yeah.
want.
We've said that.
And I was listening to something the other day. I think it was that guy, Chris Williamson, whatever his name is. He was on Rogan and he was saying that like when there was war and men would come home from war, those women would find them more attractive.
Yes.
Than the kid that is sitting at home fucking 2:00 in the morning on his fucking computer playing video games or all these other things, like the virtue signaling. Like no one's attracted to these fucking like weak men, you know?
Yeah, but I mean that
And
shouldn't
then
be a
you've got
newsflash.
and then you've got what they talk about, Andrew Tate now like weaponizing these men with what he's saying, how to treat women.
Right.
That's what they
See,
mentioned. They mentioned him twice.
No,
in
they
that.
didn't mention him. I heard it once, I remember, but I don't really know his thing. I knew that college thing or whatever that he started, but I didn't know that was the angle that he took, that it was like demonizing. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as the name was dropped, I was like, oh shit.
I just think there's a lot of angry young men getting left behind. Don't know how to treat women, getting bullied like that kid.
Yeah.
Like that kid was. You know,
I was also amazed at all the signs, like all the icons that meant something. I'm like,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I'm like, all that shit means something.
You said this a few episodes ago when we were talking about like online dating. Like that in and of itself has fucking destroyed. Like, because that's just it's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's so not real the way like humans actually work.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not like that. Can't be the only form at which people meet each other for the purposes of trying to have a romantic relationship.
Yeah. And I also like the fact
And of course, like girls are only gonna like tall, handsome, fucking. You know what I mean? Like if you're choosing based on a fucking thumbnail.
But how did you catch them? I mean, it's a bad word to say catch, but how did you get them to like you? It was your charisma.
No, but it's just the same thing
as. It was
as
the way you
of course.
spoke and hung out and
But
done
it's just
that.
the
Nobody's
same.
hanging out.
But it's
Because
just the
you
same
had-
thing as movies, right? Fucking like they don't hire the fucking guy that looks like the fucking dirty janitor with the fucking with
Sure.
his butt crack hanging out to be
Sure.
the leading man. So it's the same thing. It's like when you have this thing where it's a thumbnail and a description. What are you gonna like? What are people gonna be attracted to? The same thing they're attracted to
course.
when they watch a movie or they consume any sort of entertainment. They're gonna be attracted to the best version of that thing.
And men have had that with porn too.
Porn has also fucked everything up.
I know, and we know that. You've said it millions of times. But I mean, we've been seeing that too. Magazines, fucking Playboy, like we. But it's true.
Yeah, no, you're right,
We've
you're right.
seen them forever
I
looking
don't-
at
like,
them.
this is
you
crazy.
still looked at the girl in your school and you're like, she's hot too. She's hot.
But
You know
this,
what I think?
but
That's
this is
the
a
thing.
crazy thing too. Like it's a game of extremes. It's like if you look at the way our country was originally set up, like you know what puritanical values are.
No.
You know what
I've heard it.
You know what a Puritan is.
Yeah.
So like our country was built on that type of fucking thing. Like and like that was a time in history when super religious, super conservative, sex is bad,
Right.
all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
kinds
yeah.
of things, right?
Yes.
So like you have this whole system of culture that's founded on that, which is like a restrictive, guilt-driven, unrealistic way to look at the
Right.
world, which is an extreme. And now you have this other extreme to where like, it's just a fucking free-for-all and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, porn stars are having sex with 100 guys in a day or, whatever it is and documenting it. It's like realistically, us as humans, we're not either one of these things. We're probably somewhere in the middle.
No,
to where,
and
like,
when you looked at the Playboy I mean, I can't get the message across of how I feel because it's just nostalgia again. But like when you looked at the Playboy magazine, you didn't say, I'm going to go after this girl. I'm going to find this girl.
Well, I also think that like the access to that stuff was like taboo when we would see that.
Yes.
Sure, you might have seen it young, but not at the volume.
Yeah, how often?
Of what's
Not at the
happening
volume.
right
Yeah,
now?
you saw the same girl.
and the ease of access.
Yeah, how often did you have a Playboy magazine?
Which I
in your
think
hand?
is just creating men that only think like transactionally with women.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what they were saying. It's like I get it all the time. Like I have a bunch of friends that are girls, and people will. I hear them. They're like, "Oh, that guy's married." What is he? They're just my fucking friend. I'm not looking for anything out of them.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
like, and I say it on here all the time. But it's becoming more and more clear that like people don't look at it like that.
Yeah.
And when I heard that in there, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this kid doesn't even think. This kid doesn't even think that his father is allowed to have
a
a
girl.
female friend because of what the dynamic is between a male and a female. That's sad.
Yeah. It's big. It's true though. I think that is the way people are feeling more and more.
It's like it's just another divide.
But I don't think that's a new thing, though. The male-female friends, though. I mean, generally speaking, married men probably don't have a lot of female friends that they spend time with.
I think it just creates more of a divide, though. It's just another thing. It's like red, blue, Yankees, Mets, men, fucking women,
maybe.
Well,
There are
it's
people
not healthy.
There are people that argue
People
like,
hung out in couples all the time.
yeah, but there are people that go
Yeah.
beyond that and say like, the real way was supposed to be organized in society with the way it was when people were like in tribal. Like when they say it takes a village, like that like stems from like tribal communities to where everybody was kind of like in this communal living style to where like you grew up with 50 other fucking families right there and you all shared resources. And people say like, there are theories that like that's a more healthy way of human civilization.
Well, that's what they're saying in this thing.
Yeah.
They're saying is the village failed this child.
The village failed this
Yeah,
child.
because
The education failed.
We keep on
his
throwing people away.
friends, You know,
Well, because it's all generic. It's all like, even look at education in and of itself.
and the village in this is the internet now too. That's part of the village.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
like
Leads it.
somebody brought this up the other day, like, because the Trump and them, they're like, I saw a headline, you know, they're dismantling the education system, and it was on one of the liberal stations.
Trying
it was
to,
on,
yes.
but that was the headline. The headline was, Trump administration begins to dismantle the Department of Education, and that was the headline. And in my mind, it's like, and this is not a plug for Trump. I didn't fucking vote at all. I have no fucking skin in the fucking game other than, you know, survival. But like in my mind, like, why is it that and not they're overhauling a system that is obviously not working very well and trying to make it better?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like, and then my kids come
Giving
home.
choices instead of demands.
My kids come home all the time and they're like, school sucks. Blah, blah, blah. Like, one of them's got a teacher that doesn't really like.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
And,
Never on.
and like, you know, they're obviously,
I hear your voice. I hear that.
Shut up.
they don't, they don't love school. And I struggle with trying to find, like, what other than, like, you got to go to school, like, what is it that's good? You know what I mean? And like, I struggle with trying to find those.
I mean, it's their first job. That's the way I go about it. It's their first job. It's their first thing that they have to do. They need to learn.
But going back to what I'm saying about how we need to rewrite the fucking contract, the social contract is kind of in line with that. Like, I brought up the people that were talking about the parenting and the sports and about the kids that dedicate fucking, you know, a decade of their life to sports,
Yeah.
and the percentage of the amount of those kids to where that time investment is a worthwhile thing. Like, it's the same kind of thing, I think, with school.
Really?
I think so.
I think that's
like,
crazy.
if what you're saying is based on what you're saying, if what you're saying it's their first job, it's their first opportunity to learn responsibility and commitment and all that kind of shit, right? Community, right?
Right.
If that's what you're saying it's about,
That's what I feel like it's about.
I think we could probably do that in substantially less time than fucking 12, you know, some odd years. 13
Oh,
years.
you're talking about the amount of time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know,
Well, I
because
think
that system was organized a long time ago, when it was organized and what the world was like.
I just feel like the point of that is because you don't know shit until you're at least 18, 20 years old. Like, you're not going to, you don't know what's right and what's wrong because you haven't experienced anything yet.
No, but I'm like, all that stuff is true. I think, though, that's universally true. I'm just going to like in the show when they showed that teacher, the guy with the baggy shirt, he showed up 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
And this is not a dig on all teachers. It's
Right.
impossible to say that.
You could get a shitty
but
one.
but all three of us know personally people that became teachers just because you got summers off and it was an easy job,
Yes.
or they thought it was an easy job or whatever. I'm not saying that teaching is an easy job, but I'm just saying we all know personally people that went to do that job for what you would probably agree are not the best reasons to do that job. Yeah. Right? Now, if you're
Probably forever though.
Huh?
Probably forever that's been happening.
Yeah, but what I'm
know.
saying is that, like, the deeper you go into the system of the way things are organized, what do you think the output's going to be for your kids? What are you expecting to get in return?
Well, I think that something that doesn't really get mentioned that's happening at that, it's a very crucial point in the time of a person's life.
Yes.
Going through a lot of changes, a lot of things are happening, and I think having like one thing constant all the time is helpful. But what is being done in that day, obviously based off of what's going on in the show, that has to evolve. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, fucking math here or there and you're going to argue against this, or like, you know, remembering what happened in this war or that war or all this, like, no one is ever going to need that again.
To be honest with you, I think history is more important than math.
It's like you're going to be able to look up any, like, how do you get along with, and I've said this before, like, get along with each other, some fucking leadership skills and like some critical thinking, problem solving things. That's it. You know, like, that's it.
Well, they can't just go there for 2 hours.
No, but that's
but I
not
know-
true.
but I know
That's
days
not
worth of
true.
shit.
They could. And then you're going to say,
I don't
well,
think you want that.
well, but you
I don't think you want that either. What
Yeah.
are they going to do for the rest of the day?
But what I'm saying is that, like,
I think you need to monitor who is. I like the idea of changing some courses and getting some courses that actually mean something. But I think you also, as a parent, you need to monitor that your
No, but-
kid is not, I'm just saying, that your kid is not in a class that is doing nothing for them.
Of course not.
But I don't think people do that. They send their kid to school. They hate their teacher. They don't ask them why. They don't give a shit. Ask questions.
I don't
See
think,
what you can
I don't
do.
think it's they don't give a shit. I don't think they don't know what to say.
The parents?
Yeah, they don't know what to say. They don't know what to
There's
do
other
because
teachers that teach the same shit. Move them around.
yeah, but you can't do that in public.
Sure you can.
In public school, if you just
could
decide
put
you don't
your
like.
kid in any single class that you want to, as long as you go down to that administration office.
Are you positive that?
You could, Jesse, you could do whatever you want. If people could be a fucking cat in class, you could go there and say, I want him to have this guy, I want him to have this guy, and I want him to have this guy.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, but
100%. I've moved my kid into class before. Definitely. You can control your kid.
But like
Path.
let's think about
to an
this.
extent.
To an extent.
But also, like, didn't you come home when you were a kid and say, I hate my fucking teacher?
Yes.
Sure.
So, like, at what point do you do what you did and helicopter in from above and change the thing? Like, that's
When you're monitoring,
because your kid might be a little
is-
fucking asshole.
My answer is I don't know.
Exactly right. But if it's every day at dinner, I'll give you a perfect example. I hope it's not boring. Every single day for this year, every single day, Jake would come home and say, this happened in lunch today. And I'm just talking about an aide, right? That's all I'm talking about. She said this. She keeps on saying this. This happened. Every day at dinner is something happened. And Jen and I kept on talking and saying, Jake's not a bad kid. I know that for a fact. Could be a scooch, could be this, could be that.
Scooch.
So I would call and I'd say, listen, I just want to let you know, my son's not having fun at recess. Okay? That's the time for them to go out, enjoy themselves, let them loose a little bit, lay off the, laws a little bit, whatever. It gets a little bit colder. They start telling me, yeah, they let us outside today, but we were only allowed to stand in one spot. Couldn't go on the playground, couldn't go on the grass, couldn't go over here because there was a little bit of snow over there, whatever. Call them again in, another month down the line to where the point is that they're now saying, check in with me again in a month or 2 weeks. And it came to the fact that this lady who is a mom, she's just a mom doing a part-time job, was literally picking on these 6 kids at this table because they're boys. She had a little something against them. It was blatantly obvious something was going on. Second example is Jim. If a kid comes home and tells me that their teacher is on their phone in class every day, there's a problem.
That's wild.
Now I let that go. You let it go for a while. Like, is he on his phone when you walk into the class and then he puts it away, blah, blah, blah. They will tell you anything over and over again. And it builds up. It has to take a while because you're right. They could be assholes.
Yeah.
And I believe that fully. But once this kid starts saying
dig
it,
in a little.
and then this kid at soccer goes, yeah, that lady's not really that nice. Dude, it's lunch. Like,
Yeah,
we're
you got to
supposed
dig
be
in a little bit.
You got to
You can't
dig
just come
in.
home and say, I fucking hate my teacher.
No, you can't.
It's like, well, what's going on?
Dude, I wrote a kill song about my teacher in 3rd grade because I hated her so much. Literally, on the Casio.
The recorder?
What did my parents think? I was a psycho. So they did the old hush.
No, but I mean, that's
game.
what I
But
say.
you really got to monitor it, and you got to throw some shit away. And then there's times where he really did something wrong. There was a time that he did a gun, like he was doing a gun pose. And I was like, no way. In my head, I said, no way Jake is running around acting like he's shooting people. And you cannot do that in school. I went and talked to the teacher, and she was like, yeah,
even
we saw him doing it.
Even that is
Reprimand.
like a thing. It's just in this world that we're living in. Like, dude, I get it. There have been school shootings, all these things, but little boys have been making gun poses for, and tomahawks and fucking for forever. So now, like, we got to be paranoid that every time a little boy makes a gun pose, he's gonna fucking be a school shooter.
And that's when you go to your kid.
We're in a bad place.
Just like if they called somebody gay, you go up to your son and go, listen, no more gun poses in school, all right? You're not supposed to do it.
Probably the ones that aren't doing the gun poses that you got to worry about.
Yeah.
Probably.
No,
you're
but-
100%. It's the one sitting there like this.
to me, it's like
It's the one twiddling his thumbs that you got to worry
The
about.
wallet chain.
Fuck you. Wallet chains are cool.
green hair.
No, they were not.
I never lost my wallet.
A wallet on a chain?
It was the style.
No.
Red flag.
Red flag.
I like Nirvana, and I apologize.
Well, back then everybody had it.
No.
A lot of people had it.
Never once in my life have I had a fucking wallet.
I never did.
I got made fun of
Yeah,
so
I knew
much
you
for that
didn't. That's why
wallet
I was
chain.
trying to fucking bait you into saying that so we could be like, Kurt, you were a fucking school shooter.
It was.
You know what? I could have been.
Did you wear Jenko
Dad
jeans?
worked in the school. I don't know what Janko was.
You don't know what fucking Jenko jeans are?
I wore I didn't wear jeans really. I wore pants and
wear
shorts.
This guy was wearing fucking what's it?
Nothing tight.
You
This
had,
guy was wearing Kirkland in
Probably.
11th grade.
Ripped jeans. I had
remember
ripped
that brand
jeans.
Simple? You wore Simple.
I don't know.
No,
How
I
do you
think
not know
Kurt.
anything?
I think Kurt was like an Arrow Post style guy.
I don't. Yeah, like that.
I could see. I remember his like checkered shirts.
I used to rock
Dude,
Aeropostale.
clothes forever for me. Still to this, they're just gifts. I don't go buy clothes. I don't
wild.
buy clothes. It's
I
crazy.
was at my mother-in-law's house on Saturday, and I was talking to my other two brother-in-laws, and they were talking about Steve Jobs, and like they're smart. My one brother-in-law, he worked for Vitamin Water. They sold huge, fucking killed it. He actually just went to work for Liquid Death on Monday.
Nice.
Good for him. He's a fucking killer. He's a great guy. And but they were talking about Steve Jobs. Yeah, that's what I said. Drop off some fucking cases and some cash.
Cash.
Quickly.
Fucking envelopes, you know? But we were talking about Steve Jobs. I don't know how I got to this just now. I don't know.
Sorry, who
That's
cares?
fine.
But like sometimes I gotta like sit back because I'm so fucking smart. You know, like they were arguing about like Steve Jobs wearing the same clothes all the time, and I was about to say, yeah, I think that's fucking cool as fuck, and they were like, you know, like what a weirdo, you know, like this guy's crazy, and I'm like, you don't understand. This guy just didn't want to make that decision. We talked about him.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to
yeah,
make the
yeah.
decision. Like, let him live. Look what he fucking did. Fucking destroyed the world with
But
an
I
iPhone.
could also see how they think that he's a psycho.
I get it too. Yeah, it's interesting.
100%.
interesting.
If Jesse came in with the same T-shirt every single day, I'd be like, Jesse, you want to switch that?
I wouldn't.
I don't do that. And
I think after 2 months, you'd be like, I'm
I
tired of the
fantasize.
shirt.
everybody
about
already thinks I'm a psycho, so wearing the same
don't think the
shirt,
shirt would help?
wearing the same shirt every day, I don't think it's gonna make a difference.
Not if you started fucking upping your output level, you know, like.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh man, this guy's going full Steve Jobs.
What if he just came
No,
in?
but I'm telling you this right now, and mark my fucking words. Is everything that I'm going through, it's preparing for the next shift in output. It's coming up,
Oh boy.
and no one's gonna be prepared for it.
What if he just like started coming in the summer without a shirt on?
No.
Every day. No shirt.
That's
Would you say something?
Yeah.
When? How
Instantly.
quickly? Instantly?
Yes.
So
This is not a place for no shirts.
Yeah, but no place is a place for no shirts.
I don't like no shirts.
Like,
either.
I mean, unless like you're like the fucking like a bodybuilding influencer, you know what I mean? And that's your bit that you don't wear a shirt. I don't think because the Steve Jobs things was a productivity hack. That was the reason why he did what he did. I don't think there's any version of that with the no shirt thing, unless like you fucking train snakes in the jungle or something. I don't know.
Do you think the no shirt, no shoes really like hurts people when they read it going into a store? They're like, oh,
Yeah, definitely.
Depends where you are though, the context of where you are. Like if you're coming right off the beach and like
where you going?
You know,
to an
like-
ice cream shop? Put your shirt on.
I saw a clip. I saw an Instagram clip. The guy had the flip flop things tattooed on his feet.
yeah.
Oh, the
Because he
little
refused
straps,
to wear
little
shoes.
straps.
Yeah, so he's like, this way they don't know when I walk in.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Listen, if I was fucking, if I was real tight up top, I wouldn't wear no shirt.
See, well, that's where the argument comes from. Some people probably don't like seeing it, but you're saying, just like me, if I had some six packs
a
down there, I'd probably be like this all the time.
So open it up.
And I would take it off just like that.
Like in the gym, I would wear no shirt in the gym.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
What's
No,
funny,
not everywhere.
What's funny
Almost.
is that I've trained many times back there by myself with no shirt on, and it doesn't feel like it's not comfortable. Like it doesn't like
Being shirtless.
Well,
Yeah.
you always have half a shirt
I was
on
going to
anyway.
say, you have a lot of
hair.
hair. And that gets all sweaty and slippery. I can't imagine.
Just keep coming after me. Anyhow, I boxed this morning.
I
Kurt.
just, you better slow down.
Did two 5-minute rounds, and then I lifted some weights.
What? Already? Where you boxing?
Back here
2 5-minute rounds. What? With the bag? With the big bag?
with the bag. Yeah,
Fuck.
I did
He's
one.
getting mad. He's starting to get mad.
I did one round.
That's not what I need.
traditional style.
I need him to get
and I did the
lost.
other round southpaw.
Oh, all right. I need this guy to lose it. He's got. You going on a trip anyway? You going somewhere?
You
soon?
want me to like?
I want you to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Where there's no gym for you.
No, you don't.
Why not? Just for a little bit.
No, you want it like you're putting in the work. Like,
You're right. You're right. I want him
know.
as at the top of his
Yeah,
ability. Right.
without
You're
a
right.
doubt.
You're right.
That's what you want?
Not really.
Without a doubt.
Not really. But yes, in the long run, yeah, I kind of do. I wouldn't want you to be like after the fight, be like, well, I didn't really do anything. I didn't stretch properly.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to take it seriously enough to where I'm not like
It's gonna get you in tip top shape, bro.
yeah like to where I'm not like non-participating in this event.
Why would you non-participate in the
No, I mean like but not take it so seriously to where I'm like, you know, like I don't want to like.
Yeah, but you have like a
I don't want
drive.
to put my mind.
I know what you're saying.
I don't want to put my
Because
mind.
you'd
to
be
like,
like, I didn't even try.
Oh, okay.
It's
Like
an
get
angle.
the I don't want to try.
Yeah,
I
that's
figured
an
you guys-
angle.
I don't want to do that.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't want to
All
do
right.
that.
But you could.
You could.
I don't want to
really
do
want
that,
you to.
and I also don't want to turn it into I'm gonna fucking kick Kurt's ass. You know what I mean? To show him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that.
I feel like that would be an easy switch for you, just to like really hyper focus on fucking.
Well,
he
but-
doesn't make a song in 3 months.
but
he's
that's
just
what I.
fucking-
But that's what I do with almost everything.
I know. That's why it makes me nervous that you went 2 rounds today.
Nah. It's too early.
It's too early. Yeah.
This guy's gonna fucking.
There's-
He's gonna go through like 4 or 5 different
Summer
cycles
should
Yes.
be fun for
of
him.
like
He should have a good
ups
summer.
and downs
You should
before.
enjoy this summer.
Like
You should.
you should like in the second week of September. That's when it'll get serious.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good because that just gives a closer window of him getting in real shape. But yeah, that's what I want. I want him to really vamp it up September 1.
Ramp it up.
Ramp.
You could vamp it too.
You can vamp it.
Like, what are you fucking Dracula?
Fuck you.
So I almost got into a car accident this morning,
Yeah, how'd that go?
and it was like a real moment.
Like a heart palpitation, have to pull over almost?
Opposite, and I think it's a real insight into
what, you were
why
ready
I'm
to go?
fucking crazy. I was wasn't really paying. It wasn't my fault at all. It was a fucking lady who just kind of fucking came into the lane.
Okay.
So coming up 110 going to Southern State, good amount of traffic. I had coffee in my hand, one hand on the steering wheel, looking at my fucking CarPlay fucking screen. And she just fucking came in, and I like went into absolute like
Just changing lanes. She was just changing lanes.
She was turning into me.
Got it.
Like, and we were like centimeters from touching.
Nice.
But I just went into this fucking pure state of like absolute calm, and was just like swerved out, came back in, didn't get mad, didn't
get mad.
just looked at her with a very like disapproving look. And I'm like, and it's like said asshole like under my breath.
Right.
Didn't like yell at her. Didn't get startled. Completely like did the fucking like bullet.
Wow.
Like, it was so wild. And I was saying to myself like, how do you fucking have the ability to do things like that in such extreme scenarios, but like the stupidest little things fucking take you
Right.
down?
And then you jizzed your pants.
And then I just
I had the total
I got
opposite.
A car
experience.
accident, like a close car accident situation, will put a lot of things into perspective
Yeah.
for sure.
Which is interesting because I bet you there's a solid percentage of car accidents where nothing happens to you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah.
you die from every car accident, you know?
fender benders.
I wonder what the stats are. I feel like there's not as many car accidents as there used to be, but maybe it's not out there in the world
Yeah, it's
that
probably
much.
just not big news anymore. Car accidents aren't big news anymore.
They might be more because of the phones.
But I had the
I
total
don't think that was real.
wrong,
Who knows?
different reaction when I was at a stop sign. I'm just on a 2-way street. That's it. I start going. This guy's looking at his phone coming towards me.
Starts coming towards you.
Completely veers in front of my car, and then he jolts out of the way. I jolt to the right a little bit.
And you got scared.
I curse like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean,
I took care of what I needed to do. I saw it. I reacted to it.
But
I was like this. I wasn't like I wasn't fucking.
Well,
floating
bro,
like the
it's
neck.
okay.
It's
No,
all
but that
right.
It's cool.
But what you're talking about has happened to me a bazillion times.
Right.
I know exactly
Oh,
what you're
so
talking
this was
about.
the first time you
Well,
really
I'm
took
just
it.
saying, like, I just surfed through this
Got
moment.
it. Yeah,
With
yeah.
some next level fucking like God brain. And I was just kind of like blown away.
Good thing nobody was on your right too that you swerved into.
Yeah, then it would.
That's-
Yeah. Well, I was in the right lane.
Okay.
I was in the right lane. She was coming from the left, and she was just turning into me, like totally was not fucking, and it was crazy.
It is crazy. You wish you could like call him up right away and just be like, "Yeah, all right,
if
you
so-
okay?"
Fuck you.
Yeah. Ended on a quick
I
fuck
was
you.
like, how do I have that head for all the time?
That's tough. Mushrooms, I think.
Yeah, you gotta be really medicated.
Yeah.
Heavy medication.
Or just like
be
burn.
like
So much that you're not really allowed to drive a car.
Driving cars is. I would give it up. I like doing it, but I can't wait for the days when like my car's gonna drive itself.
Oh, that's fine. As long as it's got to be really
If
safe.
the budget was there, I would absolutely positively have an employee whose job is to transportation. like to drive my car.
Really
Budget's
trust
not there.
You gotta
Budget's not there. Not even close to there.
Budget's not
So fucking get better at being
Well, I'm
zen
just
behind
saying.
the wheel.
I'm just
You
saying.
need more
know?
moments like that today.
You got to really trust that guy, though. I have a tough time with that.
Really?
I think that would be a great fucking like relationship, you know, like the driver.
Dude, as
And
soon
then
as
that
I
driver handles odds and ends too.
So if we take a bus to like a family graduation, we take a bus to go to my
Sometimes
brother.
you sound just like Sebastian.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
We think a fucking bus.
If we take a bus like we're gonna do for the graduation for my niece's graduation, the first thing I think of when I enter that bus is this guy better be okay. Just
That's
like an airplane.
crazy.
Just like an airplane.
That's crazy.
But
I wanna
that's like
see the
some crazy
captain.
control freak,
That's crazy.
paranoid anxiety shit.
yeah.
They were talking
Definitely.
about.
Where it all is.
There was the guy in the gym this morning. Who was talking. The trainer and him were talking. And they were talking about like their wives putting their clothes away.
What? Wait.
So the one guy was saying how like he was wearing.
the wife's putting the husband's clothes away.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
the one
okay.
guy was saying he was wearing like the gym. He was wearing like a Ronin t-shirt, a Ronin sweatshirt, and the guy Kevin was like, "Wow, you're really fucking logoed up today." And the guy started saying, "He's like, I put it in the basket. A couple weeks later, it's back in my thing."
Right.
And the other guy was saying like, he's like, I don't like to let my wife put my clothes away. He's like, I like to choose which drawers it goes in and shit like
Right,
that. And I
right.
was like, wow, this is an interesting dynamic.
That is weird.
on like men, I guess.
But everybody's got weird shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And all those things, I think, are all connected to the stuff that you're afraid of. Like deeply.
Like little things like that. you
Little
think?
weird things that people feel they have the need
I think
to
I just keep on coming into my room and my clothes are on my bed. I got to put them away.
No, what I'm saying is that like that being a thing, like anything that's so important to you that you have to control to that level to where it makes that much of a difference to you. Like that's like deep.
But that
Stuff.
asshole guy is probably like, no, I like to
but-
put my clothes away. Meanwhile, his wife ain't putting his fucking clothes away. He's saying that.
I don't think so.
No, I
No?
think some people like they have
think
to
so.
have shit the way they have to have it, and if they don't have it like that, it fucks them up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
No, I'm not saying it's not. But I think it's all. I think it's connected to.
I think that you dress that.
stuff.
I think you should be in control of that. Probably. I think that's your place.
Yeah, I want to know where my
That's like
kid
her
is.
putting shit on my side of the bed. Like
I never used to.
I
I never used to fucking do any of that.
Yeah,
No, I know.
I do it now.
I know. Isn't it refreshing?
It's
A lot of
interesting
work to
how
do.
like
There's always something to do, Jesse,
yeah,
right?
and it's interesting how all that kills time,
Yes.
and sometimes killing time is good.
Sometimes you plan your day around stuff like that. Got to put my clothes away. Got to do some laundry. Got to vacuum the house. Got to dust a little bit.
It's kind of like a game, though.
Sometimes.
I like to like
Depends
what
what
can
mood
I
you're
get
in.
done while I'm doing this? How many other things?
Oh, I like that during
But
like
at this-
cooking. Like
You got
yeah.
But you got to understand, for me, like I have never in 42 years of life, I've never lived that way.
I know.
So
It's
now
probably a good
crazy.
thing.
Now it's but it's not good or bad. It just is what it is.
No, I think it could be good. I think it's a
that's
good thing.
part of, I think that's a part of taking.
I think it will make
Control.
you. Maybe you didn't,
didn't know I needed it.
appreciate
Yeah.
Yes.
what was being done.
Oh, well, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
I'm sure there's things you're.
Well, I think
definitely going
just an
through like that.
afterthought.
Not exactly, because there was never, you don't miss what you never had. You know,
Yes.
you don't have any other perspective. There's nothing to ever think about.
You'll probably get into something that you never thought you'd get into too. And I would just say cooking, but not cooking. You know what I mean? Like something like
I
that.
have to get a barbecue. I think that's my entry point into cooking.
Definitely need a barbecue.
There's just things that like, yeah, but I guess it comes back to like what we were talking about last week with the morning routine or whatever it is. It's like
Yeah.
you just gotta fucking figure out what you like, you know?
Yep.
Just optimize the day for you, and a lot of times that will take care of everybody else in your life, you know? Maybe
Yeah.
not, maybe not. That didn't sound right, but whatever.
It's interesting stuff.
I gotta pee.
Already?
Yeah, so we gotta take a break.
All right. He wants me to stop it?
Keep it running.
It's dirty though. Is it, is it really gay to be able to suck your own cock?
I recently saw a porno, like fucking,
First of all, if you could do it, would you try?
it's so funny that you're bringing this up. Should we wait for him for this?
I don't know if you would like it.
Well, so all right, so yeah, like I've. Oh, fuck. I've seen a few videos recently
Of dudes doing that?
that are all like, from a specific country. And like a couple of different dudes doing that.
Wow. That's a
Doing
different
that.
porno.
Like while they're with the girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like
they just stop and do that little
it was
flex?
like part of,
Wow.
part of it. And I was thinking to myself, like seeing the guy doing it, and I was like, I don't think I would do that. It looks
don't think you would
really
either.
gross.
It looks
and
very
weird.
hard to do.
I mean, if you got a monster fucking situation, fucking, I guess, you know what I mean?
Like, was there a lot of effort put into it, or
No.
they were reaching it like
No, they're reaching it pretty easily.
Africa?
No. Tan, not super dark.
Oh my god! I went a really dirty way. Sorry, John. We could cut it out.
If you could suck, he said, if you could suck your own cock, would you do it? And I said, I just happened to see a few videos out there on the net.
I don't know
to
what his
where-
search engine's all
to where
about.
the guys were doing that.
They was
Were those how-to videos?
no, they was
Like you were trying to do
No,
it
they were
yourself.
just
and you were like,
regular. They were just
Let me see.
regular.
they was
Regular.
stopping in the middle of porns
Yeah,
and doing that.
doing it.
Wow. I might do that.
And I was saying to him about like after seeing it, I think I might have saw like 2 videos. I don't know if it might have been the same dude.
After seeing that you tried it,
No, yeah, right. But I'm like, I don't think I would ever want to do that. It just looks so
Do
fucking
you think it's
gross.
gay?
Yeah, kinda.
I think it's.
I think it's dancing on the line.
Yeah, that's like the line probably, right?
Dancing on the line.
sucking your own dick. That's the line.
Well, like, I'm not saying to completion. Completion's gay. I'm saying if you could do it, would you do it?
I don't think so.
I wonder how many people would say yes. I think some people would say yes because they knew they got a big cock. That's what that
Well,
means.
I'm assuming that some people would say yes because they think it feels good, and they would, you know what I mean? Like it's a way to, it's
yeah,
just
it's like using your left hand, right? When you're right.
it's just, the next level of fucking masturbating, I guess.
All right, Joe,
Fucking-
get off this. I'm sorry. I just glanced down at my paper.
Definitely.
no clips on that one.
Definitely.
Yeah. I wanted to talk
What's
about
the
that,
next
how
fucking
much
like
that
experience
jumped.
that we're gonna do? Like what like
We're doing that on 2 days.
2 days from now.
I don't mean that. I mean like what's the next or what are some ideas for some other ones?
I don't know. What
You
are we
said
gonna
rock
do?
climbing? Rock climbing's good.
Yeah, someone hit me up.
Rock climbing. I don't do anything with heights.
Even better.
If you're strapped on the wall, yeah, it's perfect.
Nope.
Nope, come on.
Nope. Didn't you
won't get
say
that.
you would
I said I wouldn't do a fucking
bungee jump or
coffee
something?
enema. That's
no,
what
no,
I
no.
said.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
said I would skydive over bungee jump.
You would skydive over bungee jump. Have you ever skydived? Would you?
No,
I wouldn't.
I
either.
can't.
I couldn't. Really?
Yeah. Too fat. There's a weight limit because you can't
you
not.
gotta tandem.
You got to be strapped to somebody
Right.
Tandies.
to start.
See John just separate when the fucking parachute opens.
Just drag him to the ground.
That would be That would be almost scarier than the chute not opening, right? So you're tandem with somebody, the fucking chute, you see it open, you feel it open, and then you fucking get loose from the straps. Now you see the guy, he's gonna be safe. You're plummeting to your fucking death.
I don't think.
Right?
I think at that point, whatever.
If you're plummeting to your death with a tandem, are you talking to each other or you just
I
screaming?
think you have to. Yeah.
You could just like hug and embrace and just like get ready for
that'd
the
be-
end.
That would be nice if that happened.
What else are you gonna do?
That's good for the audio.
I just want to see if he's testing his
I don't
treble.
know how much time you actually have. How much time?
I think it's minutes.
Minutes?
Yeah,
I think you got minutes.
the rock climbing. Somebody reached out to me. I guess there's a place in Melville. This girl works for ASICS too. She's a marketing director for ASICS.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool.
I saw a cool video.
should do that.
Not a cool video. Cool picture the other day. It was like a very
of the
large,
place.
breasted, blonde-haired white woman. Right?
Did you say large breast?
Yeah.
You did.
Like naked. And then this side was like a very muscular black man. They were facing each other, right? And there was like a little thin gap between them. Like they were maybe they were standing in the doorway, right?
Right.
And it's like, if you had to get through there, which way are you facing to side through?
You know what side through.
You want your butt to the guy's big black dick?
Giving the guy my butt and I'm going, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Why would you wow that?
I don't know.
If you're gonna make eye contact.
Wait, what was this?
If a guy's standing here, girl's standing here, which side are you going through? How are you squeezing through?
Which way you facing?
Which way you facing?
You're
When you
naked?
Yeah. Everybody's
Yeah.
naked.
You're squeezing through with eye contact. That's where you're going.
With the guy's black dick going
Sure.
right
Well,
by your butt.
yeah, but he's not doing this. He's doing
Yeah,
this.
it's gonna graze your
Yeah.
cheeks though.
And what if it like what if he's really into white guys and like
A lot's got to happen
he
as I
sees
walk
you
through.
start going through and he's like leap. You know?
That's a fast reaction.
It's gonna be quick though. It's gonna be quick.
Yeah.
No,
mean,
you're gonna have to like
I think I
struggle
probably-
through a little bit.
You didn't.
It's that
you
tight.
didn't say that.
No,
though.
of course.
Struggle through.
No, you're not gonna easily just like you get through. You're gonna have some rubbing both ways.
Maybe I'll use my right wrist to say, move his hammer.
Push it.
Move his hammer out of the way.
Yeah, I think
Give
I'm
eye
doing the same
contact,
because
little
I don't
wink.
want his hammer to come in contact with my hammer.
No, see,
Definitely
that,
not.
Yeah, that's
Definitely,
sword fight.
definitely not.
That's game.
I'll take the risk on the back end.
Yeah, because it's tough to get in that hole. I'm sure you can't just graze into that hole.
I don't know.
You want to brush up the right way.
I don't know. I like it like a nice set of boobs on my back though.
Yeah, but not with a dude on your front. Man, chin hair on your front.
Man.
There's only one way to answer
That was a turn. That was a turn.
Yeah, we got dirty fast. We haven't been dirty in a minute.
Dirty.
Good.
Rock climbing.
Dirty rock climbing.
I don't like any of that.
I've talked to someone about rock climbing before, and it's another thing that like women are surprisingly good at, and men are not.
Yeah, but women
could see
generally
that.
don't have good upper body strength.
But funny because that's why they're better at it because that's what you think you need.
But you don't?
But the real good ones use their legs more than their upper body
Interesting.
because you wear yourself out using your upper body, whereas like your legs doing the pushing is really where you. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, what was this?
Fucking rock climbing.
You went rock
All right, what else we
Let's
got?
do it
out there?
naked and afraid. Let's just send ourselves out into the woods and see if we can survive like 3 days.
Nothing cool about that.
What do you mean?
But the whole concept of that show is so dumb.
Well, we'll wear bathing suits.
What about the concept of pretty soon you're going to be doing TikTok trends on here?
We're not doing TikTok trends. We're not doing TikTok.
Might be
trends.
happening.
What's a TikTok trend that we would do?
Yeah, but that's the reason why it's not as bad as you think.
Name one.
I don't know.
What are we doing?
You don't know them.
I don't know them. That's why I'm asking you to name
When
one.
someone says TikTok trends, your immediate thought goes to doing some sort of a dance, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the first thought.
But that's
then
not
it's,
what it is.
Then it's whatever's popular, like a food, like a weird food that you're gonna eat.
That's not so bad though. You wouldn't do that?
I mean, I might try some.
Okay.
What's another trend?
It's the songs.
Doing this?
See, that's like another form of dance.
Well, you just said songs.
Yeah, but no, just the song in the background and what you're doing. I don't know.
What do we have to do?
Just be there.
I don't want to be cheesy.
It's not going to be. It's never going to be.
I thought last week we said we're not doing TikTok trends. Now we're talking about doing TikTok trends.
We're not even on TikTok. That's the fun
we're
part.
exploring.
Show for 2 years. We don't even have TikTok.
Exploring the possibility.
Whatever. Just ask me the day of. I'll see if I do it.
Well,
That's
you have
how I
any
like
goals? You have any goals like for the upcoming
You
months?
just said, do you have any balls? Do I have any goals?
Yeah. What would you like? What would you like to happen in here?
Oh, in here? I
Yeah.
thought you meant personally.
Yeah, both.
In here?
Yeah.
I want this to be my job. Can you get me out of my job in 1 month? Can that happen? I just want to do it. That's it. That's my goal.
We just need to figure out how to make money.
yeah. Everybody to like us. That's a goal that I have.
Pretty
Or
vague.
hate one of us and like two of us. Who knows? Sometimes hate
Might be
works.
better that way.
Sometimes hate works. Maybe we just get vile and see what, make people think about what we're going to say next. I don't know.
Yeah.
To stay breathing.
All right.
What's your
I
goal?
thought the fucking yoga thing was awesome. I think the result that took
thought it was
place on
cool.
social was pretty good. And I think we should just do more of that.
Yeah, but it's got to be something that makes sense.
Got lucky with that one, if I'm being honest,
Why would you say lucky?
because there were great people.
Sure.
You never know.
But I don't think that's a bad thing not knowing though.
Yeah.
I agree.
You get an awkward person in here? Sure.
Yeah,
And
but I
I-
think we need some wins. We needed some wins early on. You
Yes,
know?
you do need wins early on. You don't want to get that because you got to establish yourself.
Yeah.
Now we have proof we're nice too. If somebody else doesn't like it,
So the other day, this happened this weekend too. It ties into this because I was texting you this morning. So why does it always happen? So Saturday, people at my mother-in-law's house, people were commenting that I don't ever have a case on my phone.
Okay.
And I'm like, I've had this phone for fucking 5 years. Never dropped it once. Never had a problem with it. Sunday, I'm like, there's like a parade going through fucking Patchogue, and I'm like trying to get around those metal barriers, and my leg taps it. I take my phone out of the pocket, the camera's fucking shattered.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Just the camera.
Because it's up a quarter of an inch. They did that shit on purpose.
Within 24 hours.
You fixed it?
What's the thing? Like,
Oh my God.
No, you just destroyed my phone.
Kurt, give me your phone. Let me break that thing.
I threw mine. You know why I don't have a case? Mine fell in the toilet.
I hope not, because
After a piss.
I, unlike you, have been through like 5 phones in the last fucking 3
Mine
months.
fell in the toilet after a piss.
Little white rabbit on your phone, it's going to work better.
It's
fucking
going to be
straight
a
up-
hot tub time
Straight
machine.
up cocaine drink.
It's going to send us back to fucking White Buffalo. Yeah, that's not good when your phone breaks.
That's a sign, like someone who's walking around might get some haters on this one.
What happened?
I see people with like shattered phones and shit, and I'm like, that person doesn't have their life together. There's
I
no
agree with you.
reason for you to walk around with like a broken screen.
Well, if you don't
for
have
anything
insurance.
more than a couple
I think
of days.
it's financial problem.
No, without
Yeah.
a doubt, but you're proving my point.
Yeah.
But what about the ones that their screen's not even really broken? It's really the protector. People do that too, like where it's just like shattered. You know, like when the protector gets shattered.
Just get a new one.
A lot of people walk around like that too.
Yeah.
It is weird. I don't know. I probably wouldn't fucking have it fixed quickly.
You don't do a case either, huh?
I just told you my phone
You got it
fell
fixed,
into
you got a
a
new
pee
phone.
toilet.
So I would.
So I was peeing. You know how you put your sweatshirt up and it was in my pocket. My sweatshirt was up. I was peeing. When I put the sweatshirt down, completely fell out of my phone. I mean, out of my pocket, right into the.
gotcha.
So I grabbed it real quick in the pee water, took the case off, dried it off, threw the case away
In a urinal.
in
Or in the
my
toilet bowl?
home bathroom. Yes, my home toilet bowl.
Did I get it
It's
fixed?
disgusting.
I tried to fix it myself last night. Not great results.
How are you fixing your camera lens?
I bought a thing online to fix it because it's not the camera that's broken; it's the glass that covers
Fucking
it.
Speedy recovery.
So
what
I
do they
went
call
on
those
Amazon.
shops?
I just went on Amazon. I went on Amazon and I bought the thing. And last night I was in the bathroom with the fucking hair dryer heating it up to peel the glass off. It's still broken. I mean, it's covered now, but there's like black spots all over.
Yeah, you probably.
So the moral of that
screwed up
story
the
is
phone.
hopefully your phone's good for Thursday because we need it for the fucking.
Even though I just put
for the
white
range
rabbit
room.
on it.
Even though I just spilled white rabbit all over it.
Okay.
Oh shit! What are we doing there? We're just smashing shit. Is there a reason why we're smashing?
Yeah, you got to summon it.
You got to say why
Yeah.
you're smashing it, right?
It'd be really funny if Jesse was like, that fucking asshole that almost hit my car the other day. You know, that's who I'm fucking taking out on.
Just turned it all around.
Yeah.
Imagine. Did you start watching White Lotus?
No, but I did start watching The Bear. I don't have HBO.
It's not really
It's $14.
topical.
What? The Bear?
No, it's not because it's old.
Yeah.
But I will say it's cool. I love the pace.
It's great. Bear's great.
I love the pace of
White
it.
Lotus is. It's amazing.
I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of people saying White Lotus. It's one of those things now. Like everybody's like, see
That's
White
just-
Lotus?
You're just justifying your.
See-
You know.
See White Lotus?
You're not going to pay $15 a month.
Anybody
for
watching
fucking
White Lotus?
HBO.
Did you get caught up on that?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm caught up.
I didn't see this week's episode. I got to watch it tonight. Maybe.
I didn't fucking sleep on Sunday, so I watched it at like 3:00 in the morning.
You didn't. I didn't sleep on Sunday either.
I was eyes open.
Yeah.
The entire. I didn't sleep a fucking wink.
I might have gotten a 40-minute jam in there,
Yeah.
but I was up all night Sunday
Yeah.
night. What do you think?
I,
that was?
I turned White Lotus on at like 2:45. I was like, if I can't fucking come back, I might as well just fucking watch it.
And you're so interested in it that you wouldn't fall asleep.
I didn't.
Probably should have had a couple cocktails and put yourself to bed. Oh, I mean, if it's fucking 2 a.m, it's time to go to bed.
I don't think that you know. It's funny you say that. And when I fucking got a DWI, I learned about this. Is that like that's a genetic thing? Like if you have a couple of drinks and it makes you tired, that's a genetic thing.
I don't
Like
believe
and people that are, it was like a doctor
Science.
talking about it. Yeah, science.
what,
and like
you're curved in a way where you drink, you get fucking
people that
peppy?
are genetically predisposed to alcoholism have the opposite effects. Like the most healthy effect of alcohol consumption is
putting you to sleep.
Is what you're talking about. Couple of drinks, you get calm. You get calm, and it ultimately will make you sleepy. People that are genetically predisposed to alcoholism have a couple of drinks and it ramps them up.
I take that back. I feel like that makes sense.
It's me.
Yeah,
I feel like that makes sense.
reading is a good sleep thing.
Yeah.
Reading is a very good sleep
Because
thing.
you get one page in and your fucking eyes just start closing.
You also start saying, I can't believe I'm reading.
Yeah. And then you're like, I'm not sleeping. And then I wind up reading the same paragraph 25 times. You know?
Yeah.
Still not understanding what it said.
I've done that a couple times.
Yeah. Having a book over there, usually that solves the problem.
All right.
It's interesting that you could just put a book down and not read it for a while until you really need it to get you to go to sleep.
I'm reading like 4 books at a time.
I'm doing Hell's Angels right now.
Nice.
Hunter S.
Do you
Thompson.
have your book in PDF form?
I don't think so.
No.
I might, honestly. I have a ton of different versions of it because I was
Get
trying
any
to get it
sales
to fit.
lately?
Fucking kidding me?
What was the total number of sales? Do you know?
Oh, fucking 21.
That's pretty good.
I think it was 21. But it's
great.
My family. I have a big family.
I think we bought multiple copies.
You definitely bought multiple copies.
Whatever. Happy to support.
Well, you know, did my best.
You did it.
At writing, not selling it. I didn't do my best at selling it.
It's a whole different skill set.
Wasn't really about that.
It's a whole different skill. True. There, it's funny you say that. Remember when I sent you guys that book last week about the consent or whatever? I was sending books from the bookstore. Mm-hmm. I was in that bookstore thinking, a lot of books in here.
A lot of books.
Like, way too many.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs to write a book. It seems like everybody is.
Think so?
Not a shot at you.
Probably like podcasts.
What?
Probably like podcasts
Now
too.
you're shooting at us.
Well, I'm just saying, shooting at myself twice.
What else you doing?
Why don't you just keep on doing everything that everyone's doing?
No, I'm not thinking about it like that. I'm just thinking like, I was thinking about it from like a sales standpoint. Like, is that company buying all those books and then waiting for them to sell? Is there any point in which they can give them back?
Yeah, well, what I personally think, I mean, you're going with Barnes and Nobles in general. What I personally think, I don't think authors are getting paid unless the book sells.
No, I'm pretty
So
sure.
I think,
No, I think
That's a well documented
It's
thing.
it's hard. It's hard to make money.
yeah,
Authors are making money off of like speaking appearances and
right. I'm sure
Shit
they
like
write
that.
articles, shit like that.
yeah.
You got to do that. Imagine you started booking like book tours and shit, but you didn't sell any books.
Nah, just focus on this.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Please,
Yeah, let's make the
Can we do
goal
it this
to
year,
have this be
please?
your whole job.
yeah, that's
How much you need?
what
You want to say? How much you need?
I'm not.
We
doing
could
that,
absolutely do it, but there are things that you don't currently do
This
that
isn't a
aren't
conversation right here.
within your skill. You know what I mean? That like you'd have to do differently.
No, but like how? Yeah, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah. What's the number?
Don't look at me like
You
that.
guys use your health insurance or Jen's?
You ask me this every time you ask the question of how much, and I use mine. It's one of the. This guy's kissing in the mic.
Kissing cousins.
Didn't have it today.
What didn't have it? You didn't have it?
Nah,
You mad at yourself?
not at all. Hated this.
Why?
Don't get
what the
down. You
fuck?
shouldn't get down on yourself.
Yeah.
I had a lot of adolescent thought I didn't get to even.
Should we do another episode about
Let's start over.
adolescence?
All right, so there was a show on Netflix.
I don't think we said the name of the show
We
early
didn't.
on.
You know how bad I wanted to say it? I was just going to butt in. We're talking about adolescence, by the way.
Wait, what happened?
Huh?
We talked about the show, but we never said what the name of the show was.
We just started talking about the show. We're like, yeah, this show.
That Netflix show with the kid. He killed the other kid. Fucking society
We
failed
were
them.
shocked you watched it.
I
bet him right away. I said, there's not a chance he watched it. And you were like, I'm on episode 3 right now. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because when it comes to fucking being accountable, I'm in.
Do you think we really had faith in you watching a show in 1 week?
I knew that you guys wanted to talk about it this week. I don't actively let people. I don't actively let people down.
We're just very surprised. I know you got White Lotus going on.
You
I
know,
don't want-
not participating in things that are relatively flaky. Different. Different.
Let's go make a song together.
All right.
What show are we watching for next week?
No, we're not doing that. Get me all hyped up.
Oh, next week we're not recording anyway.
Oh, that's we're not going to do Monday, right? Okay.
We got to talk about that actually.
All right. We done for today?
I think so.
All right.
I've been trying to be
Peace
done
be
for
with
a
you.
while. Although before I said we got to keep going.
You're in a
I didn't
downward
have it.
spiral right now because of the way
Let's
this
talk
fucking.
about it. What's going on? Is that kratom kicking in?
Nah, it's just I wasn't prepared for this.
You said you had a lot of notes.
I know.
It went a different way.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to review them beforehand. Getting all
that.
kinds
It
of
was
things
that. I
thrown
think
at
it
me
was
from
that.
over here about names being capitalized. And
Yeah. Stop helping out.
then this one was over here. I don't know what was happening with that.
That was like a weird walkout.
Yeah.
What?
It was like the walk of shame almost. I thought it was weird. Like, whoever was in here.
Maybe that they thought they were coming in to seal the deal. It was going to go differently.
Never that easy.
To seal the deal?
Got to work.
Nice.
Do some work. Put in some effort. We'll see. Can we end this, please?
No, let's just keep on.
Gotta clean up all this white rabbit.